Good morning, one and all. Do this, don't do that means today we're going to show you some common mistakes that you can make unless you are actually inside of the industry. And they can actually screw up your patio. We're going to show you step by step how we do them and what to avoid. Let's get into it.
Good morning, everybody. So, full disclaimer, I was not here for the first day of this project. They had me off doing some other stuff. So, y'all's gonna have to use your imagination a little bit to, fill in the blanks, get caught up to where these boys got to. So, that out of the way, we're doing a slick little paver patio, nice easy one. We're using a different material than what Blaine and I usually lay down. This stuff has a specific pattern, or it goes down in, or something or another. So that'll be interesting. Should look pretty cool. That's all I got. Let's get into the day. Morning, sunshine.
What's up?
Oh, he's laying out rocks. What you got for me? That's a good one. There's your fossilized coral right there. These are my favorite kind of agates right here. These water levels.
Oh
no, I'm gonna lose them. I freaking love rocks, man. Love them. You got a pretty good little squat going on there.
Hold up. All right, I'll go get this kid.
We were thinking like 2,400 pounds.
That's
All right, so the block we're using in today's video is a little bit different than what we typically use when we're installing a paver patio, and a little later on in the video I'll explain why that's important. But what I want to talk about right now is you're going to, in a moment, get to see how we prep the sub base, but unfortunately not all of it. Let me explain. The first thing that we did that you missed was we removed an existing patio. Then we had raw dirt underneath that patio, and we compacted that raw dirt. Then we put down 6 inches of recycled class 5. What this recycled class 5 is, it's 3/4 inch rock down to minus. And it's recycled material, so it's a combination of concrete and asphalt that's been crushed and ground up. And when you recompact that down, it turns almost like a whole solid piece of concrete. And we put 6 inches of that down. The part where you will see us working now is coming up, where we prep the final sub base. And what we do there is very critical. Let's get into it.
Here's what we're working with. Might be a little, and then stairs around there. I think they want to put some river rock and some edging under here. I don't know. We'll find out. It'll be a nice slick little patio here. They go look at the lake pond.
The gray material that's being swept right now is that recycled class 5 that's been compacted. Those black things that are laying across it are actually just pipes. 3/4 inch round pipes, and that's a critical measurement because that determines the depth of our sand. And that's critical because if you add too much sand, what happens is sand has no cohesive binder in it. So if you go too deep with the sand, you can have a pressure point on the edge of a paver, and sand will move. It's flexible. It's meant to do that. When you have just the right amount of sand, it'll hit this hard base underneath, and it will not allow deflection in the pavers. So by adding too much sand, you're setting yourself for failure down the road. By getting that sand, that 3/4 inch just right, everything else will fall in line. And I forgot to say, that 3/4 inch round pipe sets the exact right height to your sand. The pipes get used as our screed guides. They're set just wide enough that we can pull a screed board across the top of them without missing a beat, but the pipes don't get left in place. Once we're done screeding off the sand, they get removed and the holes get troweled back in.
All right, we're either gonna have like the perfect amount of sand or be like 2 bags short.
I think you're gonna have just enough.
I'm hoping for just enough. Blaine and I usually ain't that lucky, but maybe you're gonna be our good luck charm.
Yeah.
If that's the case, we're gonna go get. If that's the case, we're gonna go get some scratch offs. I like your optimism. It's refreshing.
Pavers have a pattern. Even if you specifically want a random look, even random pavers have an actual pattern that they follow. And what Sam is looking at is he's looking at using that white piece of paper. That's a guideline that shows you how to lay that pattern in to give you the best structural stability. That's an important element. Make sure you follow that guideline. What I'm going to show you guys is what we call the click and drop method. So if I want to lay my pavers side by each, I click them and drop them. Click, drop. That's the right way to do it. Do that. Don't do this. Don't set your paver down on your base and drag it into place. Don't do this. The reason why you don't want to do that is every time you do this, you're pushing material between your 2 pavers. And it's either gonna ride up, it's gonna ride down, it's gonna be uneven in some way, shape, or form, and you're just gonna be messing with it. Do this. Click, drop. That's the difference. In just a moment, you're gonna see Blaine lay out a long black piece of plastic. That is called a paver edge restraint, and it's important that you understand exactly why you want that versus other options. That black paver edge restraint is designed to go below the pavers themselves. Some companies like to use concrete for an edge restraint, and I don't recommend that because you can never grow the grass on top of that concrete. And for those of you guys that are following along, yes, Blaine actually has retired since we've made this video. So the do this, don't do that is use the dedicated paver edge restraint, don't use concrete.
Good morning, everybody. So we got all wrapped up laying yesterday. Let's go to work. Normally Blaine and I will just use sand. This stuff calls for that polymetric. So we'll start laying that down and sweeping it in.
The advantages and disadvantages of polymeric sand should probably get an entire video all in itself, but let's just talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Polymeric sand is a sand that actually has a polymer additive into it, which makes it stick longer and last longer. So the advantage of polymeric sand is that it's going to last about 2 to 3 seasons, at least up here in Minnesota, versus standard sand. The disadvantage of it lasting 2 or 3 seasons is when you do have to change it out, which you eventually will have to do, it comes out in big chunks. it's like trying to peel silicone off from a window edge. It's just this big chunky process, and you got to get all of that gone to renew it. So the advantage is it lasts longer. The disadvantage is when you do have to renew it, it's a lot more work. With regular sand, it doesn't last as long, but every season you can take a couple bags of regular sand, throw it down over your patio, sweep it around, and wash it away. And speaking of washing, if you are going to use polymeric sand, it's absolutely critical that the patio is 100% dry. If you have any moisture on that patio when you try to lay down polymeric sand, it's going to stick and cover your entire patio, and that is a pain to get rid of.
That's it. On to the next one.